There it is. Okay, welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for taking time out of your night, buddy, and coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate that. So, so like the first thing I wanted to start out asking you is a typical question that probably gets asked a lot is,
Yeah.
why did you want to act? Like, what drew you to want to act?
Yeah, of course. Of course. That's the classic question. I always say before I didn't fall in love with acting first. I fell in love with movies. That was the first thing that stuck with me. And ever since that point, I'll actually pinpoint it. The movie I watched, I was a kid, and I watched Back to the Future.
Oh my God.
And that was it. That was kind of it for me. Like, I watched Back to the Future and I was like, okay. Specifically the Earth Angel scene, like when the parents kiss at the dance, I was like, okay, whatever I'm feeling right now, how do I put some of that into the world? How can I be a part of that? So my first love's movies, and then my second love's acting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. No, yeah, I love that movie. That's such a classic film.
Classic. Yeah, it's hard to go wrong there.
I mean, Michael J. Fox, you can never go wrong with him, right?
Yeah, pretty much a perfect movie. Like, it's hard to pick too many flaws with that one.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that car too. That car is amazing.
Classic. The car and the shoes. I would want the shoes, but they're a little too much of that I don't have right now. Maybe one day.
Okay. And so when you actually got involved with doing television and is Chucky your very first role you ever did?
Yeah, so like I did like I've been kind of like acting all my life in like community scenarios, I want to say, just like through school. Like, I've always been in school like most people go through in their childhood. And I went to an art school for high school, so I was involved in that stuff. And then I did a lot of theater, so I wanted to go to a college that specialized in film, so I could kind of like hone those skills. So I did like a quick, nice like 2-year program with that. And then Chucky was the first thing I got after that, which is a pretty crazy first thing to book. It was like best case scenario for a first day, first role. I was pretty spoiled by that.
Well, yeah. Like, I mean, Chucky has, I mean, it's a TV series now, but like it was a whole bunch of films, like starting from the 80s up until now. Like, now they went away from the films and they turned it into a television series. So you're part of that history. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the crazy things. Whenever I think of like even just the day I was filming, the people that were there, you really got a sense of like, oh, I'm just like a little cog in this like really great thing that a lot of people care about. And it was pretty surreal, honestly, even just to be like, oh, I was killed by Chucky. Like, to say that like for the rest of my life, I was killed by Chucky. Whenever I see him during Halloween, whenever I see him in the store, I'm like, I got beef with you, man. We're not friendly.
And how did you wind up getting the role for Chucky?
Yeah, so I got it just through like how I would get any role now, which is through my like getting an audition through my agent, and then self-tape now, actually, which is for like mostly everyone. I think we're mostly doing self-tapes because of COVID, and now it's kind of like a little bit more convenient to do self-tapes. But when I got the script, it was actually had a different name under it because Chucky's like such a big thing. It was called actually, no, I won't say what it's called because I don't know if that's something that they're still using. I don't want to get in any trouble here. But it was under a fake name, so I had no idea it was Chucky. And if you watch the scene, I mean you've watched the scene, but viewers, if you watch the scene, it's a pretty like weird scene if you're reading it with no context. So reading the description of the scene without the context of Chucky was very interesting. The audition was I had a sock in my mouth instead of a ball gag. I did not think I did a good job on the audition. I'll say that much.
Well, I mean, it's not every day that you're getting ball gagged, so
Yeah, it's not the regular auditions that usually come through for me, but acting's a challenge every day, and I'm always up for the challenge. So throw it
Yeah,
at me, and I'm game.
definitely. And and, when you actually got to the set, I mean, of course, when you got to the set, you probably already knew you were doing Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
And so who did you interact with for the cast?
So I was there was 3 people in the scene with me, including the actor who played the dead body, who's a great guy. But part of the like main kind of Chucky cast, I guess, I was mainly with well, actually only with Tiffany and Nika, so Jennifer Tilly and Fiona Dourif, and those are the 2 people I interacted with outside as well. I did actually meet the little boy that plays Chucky as well as when he has to walk and stuff, and he's a great little kid, so he was fun to see. Cool. Yeah.
I actually interviewed him when season 1 was out. I the season you're in. Mm-hmm. I interviewed him. His name is Jake
mm-hmm.
Jacob, and oh my god, he's like the cutest little kid. Like,
yeah, he was just looking for Pokemon the whole time. I think
it's hard to believe this little cute kid is Chucky.
Yeah, I know. I was never like around when they had to direct him or anything, but I'm really curious how that process would be, like what they put in his mind for the scene, like how much he actually knows.
I know, right? Exactly.
It's a little dark.
And Jennifer Tilly, like, I was always a huge fan of Jennifer Tilly. I mean, even before she did Chucky, she was in a lot of films. Then when she did Bride of Chucky was her first role for the series of Chucky. And oh my, yeah, Jennifer Tilly is like on my top. I had a huge crush on her, and
yeah, she was honestly unreal, man. Like, best experience I could have had, like meeting someone of that stardom, of that level. Like for me, like with my generation at least, like she's very much like a voice of my childhood, because like things like Monsters Inc. and stuff like that, like that's where I'm really familiar with her, just from like I'm a little bit younger, so that's where I come in. But she was just the absolute, like everything you would expect, like super funny, super witty, like total professional, brought it like so 100% every take, like absolutely killing it. And as it like just off the set as well, like so giving, like super nice, like really welcoming to someone who's like literally never done a scene before on a set. And then she's someone who's, done quite a few things in the industry. So she has a lot of experience coming and a lot of reputation.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Wow. That's really amazing.
Yeah. And she was great.
Now, from season 1, I'm sure since you were part of the season, you probably watched like the first season. And what kill did you like the most? Like, was it your kill, or?
I think I like off of bias, I kind of have to say my kill. Like, it's definitely like the kill I enjoyed watching the most. The one I've like gone back to obviously a few more times. But apart from myself, I don't think it's it's not the same episode as me, but I think it filmed the same day I was filming, which is why I'm getting confused, because I think it was on the call sheet when Detective Payton gets killed with all the syringes and everything. Reading that in the script was kind of brutal. And that's like I didn't get to chat with him, but I walked by him on set, and that seems, that's pretty brutal. Like, all of the kills are brutal, but I can't imagine being injected with a bunch of random syringes. That would not be a good time.
No, that's not good. That's not good. And so I mean, you didn't interact with the Chucky doll, but you got to interact with both Tiffany and Mika, and they were the ones that brutalized you in that scene.
Yeah. No, that was
But,
definitely, yeah, that was an interesting time for sure. It's an interesting it's an interesting scene, especially with the duality of Nika kind of being both Nika and Chucky. It's like, acting with like two different people almost, right?
That's true. That's true. So when you were on set, like, did you actually get to see like the doll that they used, the Chucky doll, and how the people move him and stuff?
Yeah, like I'm not sure how much of the actual like mechanics I remember actually taking in, but I believe they must have been setting up either the like paid in death scene or something else in the hospital, because the set was a hospital. And I think we had to be very quiet. I didn't really look in because the one time they were actually filming something, so I was like, hey, like, it's my first day here. I'm not messing around. Like, I'm not getting any shots and like in a window that's supposed to be 2 stories up, and I'm standing outside like I'm Superman or something. Like, I'm not trying to get in trouble there. But I saw a little bit of the Chucky doll, and it's some incredible puppetry, and also just following Alterian, who did the like puppetry effects for Chucky. The way they show everything, you can like follow them on Instagram. The way they do stuff is pretty mind-blowing. I love props and all that, so anything that's like next level like that I find super impressive.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I always find that like cool, like, like being a fan of horror. I'm a huge horror fan and a big Chucky fan, and to know how they move the doll, like how Chucky moves. I mean, I know some scenes Jacob is playing Chucky, but like most of the scenes is the actual doll.
Yeah, which always like there's always the argument for practical over VFX as well, where obviously, I don't want to say lower budget, because I feel like that gives a like wrong kind of feeling to it, but horror has always been kind of in the vein of like indie filmmaking a little bit, so there's always that element of practical there, which I think like really helps fans like grab onto the stuff they're actually watching and to believe it's real, even though it's like so over the top, that once you have like something tangible there, it's really great. And then obviously they can't make the doll run as well as a normal the doll would actually run, so that's where like Jacob's great for those scenes and stuff like that.
That's true. True. And you're also part of another show, and how's it like? What did you like best about playing young Thomas for Ruby and the Well?
Yeah, I think what was cool about Ruby and the Well, as opposed to like Chucky, I played a character with no history in a show with so much history. And in Ruby and the Well, which was what was fun about it was kind of coming in and playing a character that meant a lot to the story, even if I didn't have a lot of scenes. Like I just have one scene per season. Okay. I believe so. Yeah, I believe for sure in the first season. I don't know in the second season if they divide anything up over time. But even though I have that small screen time, they talk about the character so much in the show. Yeah. So it's really cool, kind of, if you were an audience member of the show, you would really have an idea for who this guy is. And it's cool to come in and embody someone that some people might have like an idea of already, and kind of get to fit into a role that has like a mythology to it almost.
Wow. No, yeah. I haven't seen the show yet. So I did read up on it. It sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's a cool show. Like it's obviously more directed to a younger audience, but like in that they still do like a wonderful job. Like all the lead actors are great, like all great kids, like super talented, like really nice kids, and it's like a fun little like story. Like it's just like really sweet. Like there's a lot of nice things. Like it's a simple viewing, like the stakes aren't like crazy high. It's like nice and drawing. You're seeing, in COVID, it's nice to see all these problems getting solved by, a girl and her dreams in the well. It's heartwarming. It's nice to watch.
Yeah, definitely. And like out of out of the scenes you've done for the show, was there any scene that you had the most fun with, the most fun filming?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting because the first scene I did was like a dialogue scene, like all talking, like a relationship. And then the second scene I did for season 2, I have no lines at all because my character kind of falls into this darker place. So he's a little bit of a recluse, and he's not talking as much. He's very different from the character in season 1. So I think what I loved about season 2 was I got to wear a fake beard. So that was definitely a highlight. I had a great time with that. And then season 1 was, I'm not sure if it was more fun, but it's obviously a little different playing with like actually having words and having like, I had a little bit more of a bigger actual screen time element where I got to be like a character and have a relationship a little bit more. So that was fun to play with, but I got to do more stunt work in the second one because even though it seems like a simple scene, there was a little boy who was walking around the well. And so they just want to make sure he's like supposed to almost fall in. And so they just got to keep everything safe. And then the stunt coordinator was actually a guy who's been like a teacher of mine over the years, like several times, Steve Wilshire, who's like super accomplished, great Welsh Canadian stunt coordinator who's awesome. So it was great just spending the day on set with him and having a familiar face when you usually don't in acting. At least in my stage, there's not too many familiar faces out there.
Well, yeah. Ah, that's really cool. And plus, you did some of your own stunts. Like, that's really awesome.
Yeah, I haven't had a stunt person as of yet taking over for me. Same with Chucky. I had to both take the kill and throw the punch that I throw. I think it's more of a slap, less of a punch, maybe. Yeah. Do I punch her? I think I punch her. I don't know. I think it's different in the script and what we actually did. We played with it a little bit, so I can't remember exactly. I think it's a little bit of both.
And what do you like doing during your free time when you're not all auditioning for TV shows?
Yeah, man. I would trying to be a little bit better this year because I'll say my free time is spent a little bit maybe doing a little bit too much gaming than I should be. I'm definitely a little addicted to some of the games. I love just like watching stuff, obviously being an actor, like watching any like content I can take in, like anything acting wise and like directing and movie making in general. Like I'm always just trying to really like feed that information into my mind and learn as much as I can while I'm not actually working on set or anything. So that's like mostly what I do. I do have a secondary job. I work at Starbucks as well. So that's from there. Because, until I'm a little bit bigger of a actor, hopefully in the upcoming time, I still have to pay the bills. So it's the classic actor who works at Starbucks kind of scenario.
Well, yeah,
such a cliche.
Usually, like the people that act, they're like you said, they're either working in a coffee shop or waiting tables.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So now, do you get any free Starbucks coffee when you're working? Like, do you get to drink it?
Oh yeah. We get like Starbucks like takes pretty good care of us. So
that's awesome.
We get a few free drinks a day. Like the way it actually, without going into like the finer details of it, you get like a drink like for each of your breaks and then like before and after your shift. So a lot of free caffeine, which is maybe a little detrimental, but it's very helpful to my bank account that doesn't have to pay for a cup of coffee every day. That's very helpful. Yeah.
Well, I mean, after you're done a shift at work, like you're probably running around the block for hours, like trying to get all that energy out.
Yeah. Honestly, like the effects of, I don't feel it as much now. Like I feel like I don't take as much advantage with the drinks, and I'm trying to drink a little more water instead of the sugary drinks. So I'm pulling back a little bit, taking care of myself, new year, new me, trying to be a little bit healthier, but
yeah, of course.
definitely, you know what, I work so early in the morning because I'm an opener that I kind of come home and I pass out. I'm so tired, because not because it was a hard shift, but I start working at 5 o'clock sometimes. So it's
early.
Yes, early mornings. Yeah. The earlier I start, though, the earlier I'm out of there. So that's the way I like it. I got my whole day ahead of me after that.
Yeah, I mean that's if you're not too tired after being up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's the problem. Actually staying awake for the rest of the day to make use for it.
Yeah, right, exactly. And you mentioned you're a big you love gaming. So what kind of gaming systems do you have?
Yeah, I would love to have a PS5, but that was a little bit of a difficult time getting that. So I just have a good old Xbox One over here, which is pretty, it's taken care of me over these years. I cannot complain about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about horror films? Are there any horror films that you like to watch?
Yeah, I gotta say I'm a little bit of a softie, so kind of the psychological stuff I'm not too much of a fan of, because I can appreciate the artistry, but I'm too much of a wuss. I'm okay like that. Like Midsummer, I'm good. That just looks like a really dark movie. I'm not sure if I want to go down that road, but I really I was introduced to the Scream franchise this year. Well, I guess last year, now that we're in 2023, but just recently watched we binged the whole franchise, and I was super impressed with that. I wasn't expecting to like it as much, but I think the whole whodunit aspect of it, and then the characters are just super fun. Everyone's so good in those series, and the first three movies especially are just really entertaining, really fun movies, and you really grow to love those characters as well, which I think is the most important thing in a movie and entertainment in general. You want characters that you can connect with. So I think that's why I like that one a little bit more than others.
And they're making actually a new Scream 6, but it's going to be without the main girl, Nev Campbell. She's not coming back for Scream 6.
Yeah, that's a little bit disappointing. It looks interesting. I don't want to bash anything, but I wasn't as much of a fan as the last one as I was as the ones before, but it seems really interesting that they're bringing it to New York, right? The new one takes place in New York. That's really interesting, because it's always been in the town, or they go to LA for the third one, right? They're in Hollywood. So I think New York's a really cool setting for it. And I don't know if you've seen the poster, it's the subway sign poster. I thought that was great marketing. I thought that was really cool. I think that looks awesome.
Yeah, it actually looks really good. Did you see the trailer yet?
Is there only one trailer? I saw the teaser. I don't know if they've released anything else. Just
teaser.
Yeah, I saw the teaser then. They're on the subway, right? That one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. It actually, that little teaser actually looks really good. I'm really I'm looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, I'm disappointed that she's not in it, but the new characters, I'm going to give them a chance to shine to see who could be the next Nev Campbell in the series,
Yeah, I wonder if they'll I know the girl they had a different main actress in the last one. I mean, it's the same actress in this one, but I wonder if they'll lean more towards the Jenna Ortega, the little sister, because she's obviously having so much success right now with Wednesday and everything she's been doing. She's really knocking it out of the park with everything she's done. She's
a megastar now. That TV series put her on a whole different level, especially her that dance scene. The whole entire world is trying to do that scene.
Well, she put in the work, which just goes to show you she really cared about the character in the series, and she did all the research and the effort to pull it off, and she really did. Like it was a perfect casting, like looks wise as well. Like really fits the role, and really excited to see what she does in the future, because she's like a really interesting actor. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I know she's awesome. And what about like songs, and like what kind of songs are on your playlist? What music do you like?
Yeah, man, honestly, I'm like a complete mess when it comes to music. If you went on my phone and you hit shuffle, you'd get like the Beatles and then Drake, and then it would be like the Mamma Mia soundtrack, because it's just like there's some random stuff in there. There's a lot of like movie musicals going on in there. Honestly, it really changes from time to time, because I won't listen to a abundance of songs at the same time. I'll find something, and then I'll just beat the crap out of it for like a month. I'll just listen to the same thing over and over again, and until I can't listen to it anymore, I'll just kill it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you were going out for karaoke, what would be your like go-to karaoke song?
Yeah, that's like so tough, because it's like I'm deciding. I'm a terrible singer. Like I love to sing in the car, like I'll blast music and I love to sing, but as soon as you take the voice away, like the artist singing, I cannot. I'm actually tone deaf. Like I cannot match a note. I will not be able to find the note. If someone else is singing another note, I'll just like try to do what they're doing. Like it's I've only been to karaoke like once, and I like walked off halfway through. I'm like, I can't do this. Like no one was paying attention, so it was okay. But I'm trying to think of like actually a good choice. Maybe Piano Man. Piano Man's always a good one. I don't think I could pull it off, but if I were able to pull off a song, I think that would be a really good
one. Okay, that's a good song. That's definitely a good feel, like a positive song to sing.
Yeah, a good bar song, right?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's a good one. Okay, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, maybe a little bit longer, but.
And what about like? Do you have any junk food that you like eating most, like a cheat food?
Yeah, I definitely have no self-control when it comes to junk food. So I think like the big one, I'm a little bit of a McDonald's addict. That's kind of like something I gotta maybe ease up on. It's just they make some tasty stuff. So junk food, and then like if I'm going to the movie theater, I need like a Coke and candy. Actually, I wonder if I have the specific. This candy right here. This candy is my top movie theater candy.
Yeah.
Not sponsored by Jolly Rancher. This is not an ad, but that specific candy I'm a big fan of at the movie theater. It's always a good hit.
Okay. And are you more of a beach guy or like a hike and camping type guy?
Yeah, I think I would probably be more up for a hike as opposed to camping. But then out of all three, I think I definitely have to go with the beach. Yeah. I don't necessarily like swimming, because I mean, I like to swim, but I'm kind of a wuss when it comes to cold water. If the water's like, if it's, up here in Canada, man, the water's cold sometimes, it's not always a good time. So I kind of stay on the sand. I like playing sports on the beach. Any sport you can play on the beach, I'm game. Like frisbee, football, volleyball, soccer, whatever it is, like I'll be playing a sport.
Well, which sport do you like playing the most?
In terms of, my favorite sport is hockey, but I'm not necessarily Wayne Gretzky when it comes to skill. So I want to enjoy that more. But I think like I really like tennis. Tennis is a fun sport, like pretty like super active, like keeps you like good cardio and everything. And then I have a little brother and we're super competitive. So we're playing tennis or we're playing shinny up at the hockey rink or we're playing basketball in the summer. Any one of those threes, any given day we could be playing.
Okay.
It gets a little intense, I'll admit. It gets a little intense.
Well, yeah, especially, you say you have a younger brother and you're competing. So,
Yeah.
a lot of emotions start flying.
A lot of emotions start flying, especially when it's family.
Probably a few F-bombs and
yeah, it gets a little, depends how close the game is and depends how much we think the other one's cheating. That's where the tensions get a little high.
Yes, exactly. Is there any app that you like either watching or using the most, like TikTok, the Instagram, Snapchat? Like,
yeah, I'm definitely, Instagram and Snapchat was probably like back in the day for me, like when I was in high school. Not that high school is too far away from me, but that's what I used to use. And now I honestly like don't really, Instagram's always going to be there, but Snapchat I don't touch at all. And then Netflix is all like any streaming service. Like I have both Disney Plus and Netflix. Like those are obviously keeping me entertained, but I find YouTube and TikTok's probably what I'm using the most just because of attention span. I think I just like really want that quick content sometimes. And TikTok's just, I was a big TikTok hater when it started because I saw certain content where I was like, oh, like why would I get TikTok? That looks awful. But what I didn't realize is how good the algorithm is at like curating all the stuff for like exactly what you watch. So, excuse me. So like my TikTok, like, yeah, there's always good stuff. I can scroll for hours. It's a little bit of a problem, but I love YouTube as well.
It's very addictive. Like I don't do TikTok right before I have to go to bed. I found out the hard way that you don't do that, especially if you have to get up for work in the morning because you lose sleep.
yeah. You'll never go to bed. You'll just be up for hours.
Exactly. And is there anything coming up next for you that you want to plug, like something coming down the line? Or
I don't have actually anything yet. 2023 we're coming in strong. It's December is always a little bit of a low season for at least up in Toronto. That's what I've been told. Hopefully I'm not just I'm not the only one, but I hear it's kind of, holiday season, things like go into a little bit of a lull. And then I'm just really excited to get to work, like start auditioning, start really killing it, start working on myself and kind of just coming into 2023 strong. And then hopefully I'll have some stuff coming out in the future that people can go and watch.
Oh yeah, definitely. And where can fans follow you at?
Yeah, so I think probably the best thing would be Instagram. I don't really use other stuff, and my Instagram is just my name. I keep it pretty simple, so it's Eric Tzogas, just at Eric Tzogas. That's my Instagram. Anyone can check me out on there. Give a follow, send a message, give a like. I always appreciate any new followers, any new fans, and everyone. They can come check me out on there.
Sweet, buddy. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your night coming on the show. And I know I changed the time a little bit, and I appreciate you working with me.
You're all good, man. I'm glad with the time we picked too, because I didn't realize Canada's playing in the World Juniors tonight, which is pretty serious stuff up here. So I'll be right after this. I'll be pretty stressed about watching that game. So that's where my mind's on to next.
Okay, there you go. Well, have fun watching your game tonight.
Thank you so much.
Have a brew on me and
yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me. It's been great chatting with a fellow fan and a movie and TV show lover. It's always great. This is the stuff I love talking about. You don't get to talk about it all the time, so I'm always more than happy to ramble on a little bit about, why I love doing what I do.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Like, definitely stay in touch too. We could talk about films, and I'll find out how your Canada game went.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Last game was a little stressful, so I'm hoping for a little less stressful tonight, maybe.
Okay. Well, I hope they win.
Thank you, my man. Thank you. Well, it's against the US, so
Oh no, really?
Yeah. So I think you might change your stance a little bit, but a little bit of a rivalry there.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what to say on that.
Yeah, all good, man. May the best team win.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. All right, buddy. Have a good night, and thanks again.
Thank you, my man. It was great chatting with you.
Definitely a lot of fun. Okay.
I know. I'm like, do you want me to head out, or do you just stop it? I'm like, I didn't know if you actually wanted me to leave or if you just